Thank you so much for being in our podcast. We just started with the podcast, so it's always very nice to like meet people. And actually, we come from way back. We already met each other. We just said it in our earlier this afternoon that we are like 5 years ago we met for the first time.
Yeah, when you were at the beginning, at the start of your company, and for both was it a complete different setting.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, what you do. Also, of course, like your whole experience into the biohacking coach, but then also more towards your company.
Yeah, okay. I try to keep it very short. My biohacking journey started in 1999. I went to Cameroon with friends, and I had to take Lariam, that's the anti-malaria prophylaxis. And I got a very severe side effect, a panic and anxiety disorder, and it couldn't be cured by the regular medical therapies. I tried 40 different ones, and they helped a little bit, but they didn't solve the issue. And at a certain moment, the psychiatrist, he said to me, Eduard, you just get used to it. You have to get used to it because it's damaged and it can't be solved, can't be healed. And you can imagine that if you are at that age, then you don't want to live in this situation for the rest of your life. And so that was the reason that I started into started my health journey and tried to find different ways to support the healing powers of my own body. And first I discovered Marxism, the Primal Blueprint. Yeah. Very inspirational, and he learned me about eating low carb, eating whole foods, different way to exercise, the basic stuff
that would help your anxiety and the issue.
Yeah, because that was already a huge help, because in my opinion, what it did is that it gave me the body, it gave my body the energy that it needed to get healed. And if you eat crappy food, if you don't have a healthy lifestyle, yeah. Then it becomes very hard for your body to repair things. And by eating whole food, by eating low carb, I was able to give all the, my brain, the different parts of my brain. So you have the reptile brain, the Labrador brain, and the human brain, and the body gives a priority to the primal brain because that's how you stay alive. So those are the primal functions in your body, and then it gives the energy to the Labrador brain, and the Labrador brain are the primal functions of humans and animals, that you want to search food, that you want to have sex, that you sleep, all those basic stuff. And then you get the energy for the human brain. And I'm convinced that you have to make sure that you give your body the right food, the right stuff, so that it can get all the energy that it needs for all the different functions in your body. Yeah. And food contributed a lot. Changing my food pattern contributed a lot to how I felt. Yeah. And I felt immediate effect. I lost weight, had more energy, had more pleasure in my life, and because of those benefits, I thought, okay, this is interesting. I want to learn more about health. So I started to follow all the mostly American thought leaders, because I started to follow Marxism, and then via Marxism, I discovered Wim Hof and Tim Ferriss and Ben Greenfield.
And when was this exactly? In which time frame?
This started in 2008.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so you can say that my journey, it has been 15 years that I have been busy trying to find the different hacks, how to not only to heal my body, because I think that, after 5 to 10 years, I consider myself healed. So
had
trying
no more complications whatsoever by just
no,
eating this low carb approach.
yeah, it's the low carb approach, but also, I learned, when I discovered Dave Asprey, I learned also about biohacking. So I created my own biohacking toolkit. And that means that I not only improved my diet, but also my exercise. I used red light therapy, another way to breathe, the Wim Hof method, cold therapy, and also I tried all kinds of different gadgets to get biofeedback, because that's what biohacking is. What you do is that you experiment with yourself, you measure things, and you see what works for you, because what works for you doesn't work for every person. So you want to create your personalized toolkit, what works best for you, and and of course also the supplements, and
That's very interesting. So basically you biohacked your own body into getting healthy.
And so after 7 years, around 7 years, I thought, okay, I think I healed my anxiety and panic disorder, but in a way I was addicted to this whole biohacking because I felt so well. So I kept hacking myself, but the goal was different. So the goal became longevity, staying, as healthy as possible for the rest of my life, and also improving my cognition and my, cognitive performance.
Yes.
To show up, at my work and get the best out of a day. So that's and yeah.
Back then you had another job, like other than okay.
Yeah.
So you already could implement it in your daily life with work. How did you come to the transition of then becoming a biohacking coach and then eventually starting also Livehelfi?
Yeah, so I was a digital strategist, and I advised corporations with how to develop a digital strategy, digital transformation, e-commerce strategy, all those kind of things. And I always had the wish to do it myself as well, because I was an e-commerce specialist, but I haven't run an e-commerce store myself, and that's always the issue when you are a consultant, that you can give solid advices, but it's depending on what the company does with it, if it's a success or not. And so that was a wish I've had for years, and I think in 2012, Dave Asprey started his own company, Bulletproof, and he had all kinds of supplements, Bulletproof coffee, and I consumed Bulletproof coffee.
Nice.
I thought, okay, I wanted, so I bought his supplements and coffee in the United States.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I am buying this in the United States. It's very expensive to send those to the Netherlands, and I thought, okay, there are more people in Europe buying Bulletproof products in the United States. There must be an opportunity to combine those purchases and send them from the Netherlands to other people in Europe. So that's why I started Livehelfi, so that my wish came through, that I could establish my own e-commerce company. And I did it besides my job. So 4 days per week, I was a digital strategist, and 3 days per week, I developed Livehelfi. And
that's awesome.
and that took off quite nicely. So we added all kinds of other brands that were endorsed by the thought leaders I mentioned. And in 2018, I decided to quit my job and to focus fully on Livehelfi and created also my own brand, Noordcode.
That's amazing. I think it's also for consumer, just for me as an outsider, it's especially nowadays to believe in shops, online shops. I think you have such a great advantage because it's something that we know that the products that you sell on your shop on Livehelfi and now also your own brand Noordcode, this is something that you live by. That is like you use it yourself in your daily life. You know that it's something that you're proud of. So I think this is something definitely an advantage nowadays where we can be sometimes overwhelmed with what we can find online, to know like this is the place to go to, like really go in biohacking your own body and finding the right nutrition or the supplements, etc. on your shop.
Yeah, that's right. I wanted to make it a curated concept, and that means that you can see my picture prominently on the store, because I hope that people in that way they trust where they buy, because they see that there are real people behind it. And it's also part of the reason that I wanted to become a Bulletproof coach, because I really wanted to be knowledgeable about the things that I was selling, so that I know that I was doing the right things and the right things for the people, but also because I defined my mission in life not only to be a reseller of products, but also to inspire people and to help people. Because many people in the biohacker community, they have an issue, and they have an issue that couldn't be solved by the regular medical healthcare. They all have to explore the extremely difficult path of finding out what helps and what doesn't. And I thought, okay, I have spent 15 years finding all those solutions myself. And I hope by sharing my knowledge and sharing my experience that I can save some time for other people that are on the same journey.
Yes, that's amazing. So then as a biohacking coach, are you still implementing this? Do you have clients, or how does this resonate? Is this that you share information just online, or you have type of workshops you do?
Yeah, so I spend most of my time running the business, because it has become quite a mature business, and that needs almost all of my attention. But I keep fighting to save time for a few clients, because I like that feedback of the things that I want to get across, how it resonates with people and what they can do with it. And I give presentations on the biohacker summits and on biohacker workshops. I created some workshops myself, so those are it's more about my mission than a business model for me. So the main business is Livehelfi and Noordcode. Yeah.
Beautiful. Talking about biohacking, by the way, are there any, what is currently your buying hacking or your biohacks that you're having on a daily basis, or maybe some new things that you can share?
Yeah, maybe my morning routine. I wake up at 6, and then
every day you wake up at 6.
Every day I wake up at 6.
Wow.
And that's the me time. Then I want to do all the stuff that's for me, so that when at 9 the world wakes up, I can do the stuff that is needed for the world.
So what does that mean, time for you, from 6 to 9? What is it you do?
Yeah, what I do, I start with a glass of lukewarm water with apple cider vinegar in it. I take capsules because I like that more than the vinegar itself.
Yeah.
Then I have a neurosonic canopy, and it's a bed with vibration in it, and
Oh,
that activates. So you can get it in different modes. You can put it in different modes. For example, relaxation or activation. In the morning, I use the activation. So the bed vibrates so that it activates your body and get your lymphatic system in place, and
nice.
it wakes you up in a way.
Yeah.
In combination with the Wim Hof breathing. And then I do some stretching. Then I go into my ice bath. So I created my
Your
own ice
own
bath.
ice bath.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
at
Wow.
my home, because I I did some Wim Hof workshops, and I it was such a pity that uh, it was so cool to get in that ice bath and the feeling afterwards.
Yes.
Okay, so it was a pity that I couldn't experience those benefits of getting in the cold more often. And then I discovered the Facebook um, chest freezer cold plunge. Maybe that's interesting for your listeners.
Yeah.
And that's moderated by a guy whose mission is to enable everybody with his knowledge to build his own ice bath in an affordable way. So it's for less than €1,000, you can build your own ice bath by buying a chest freezer and putting some pond liner in it. I made to measure pond liner and an ozone device to kill the bacteria in it,
Yes.
etc.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
That's awesome.
yeah.
So you do this ice bath every morning. What are the
No,
main? No, that's
no, no. I think I do it 3 times per week on average, because it's a stressor. Many biohacks are stressors, and the idea is that if you put some stress on your body, then your body starts to respond to it and makes you stronger. So what doesn't kill you make you stronger. That's the idea. And if you go in an ice bath too often, then there's also a risk that you get too stressed, that your body gets too stressed. So I only go in my ice bath when, with my Aura ring, I measure it in the morning when I have a decent readiness. So that means that I recovered from the day before, and then I go into my bath.
yeah. So and then when you feel you can probably like notice it with the ring, but also probably by your own
Yeah,
self now, like, okay, now it's just not the right time to take a
yeah,
bath.
yeah. For most people think that with all those biofeedback devices, because I measure so many things, that I'm run by numbers, so that my how I feel is dependent on the numbers that I see.
Yeah.
But it's the other way around. I first check in with myself, and I wake up. I feel I feel refreshed or not, and then I will check the numbers and we'll see. Okay, how was my deep sleep? My deep sleep is my most important KPI,
Yeah.
and
Because sleep is so important.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sleep is one of the most important and the most, maybe the cheapest biohacks, that to focus on your sleep and to have the right sleep routine, and that's why I always go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6, so that your body knows, has that rhythm. So
Yeah.
that circadian rhythm is very important for a healthy body, that everything is in place. And
Mhm.
there are people who think that having 4 hours of sleep, that they are proud of it. Look at me, I only need 4 hours of sleep, but I
Exactly.
think that that's the wrong way to look at sleep, because it's, you know, the most important period to repair your body and to repair your brain. And
yeah, and especially during the day when you are awake, those people have to the urgency to supplement things just to get going through the day. Then it comes to overconsumption on caffeine or even soda drinks, etc., just to have this energy kick.
Yeah. And then I start with red light therapy. So I have a red lamp and with red light and near infrared light, and I sit behind it, you know, 5 to 10 minutes. Very, very. Yeah, it's very comfortable. It's very relaxing, and it's good for your skin and for your mitochondria. I have also a flex beam, and the flex beam is a very powerful, flexible infrared device. What you can put on your, you know, on your back or on your knee, and I always do it on my back at the same time when I shine the other lamp on my face, and that's also very, very energizing. And I do some breath work. Heart rate variability training is very important for me.
What is that exactly?
So your heart rate variability means that your heart rate is not beating steadily. So there are variations in the heartbeats, and that the higher the variations, the more variations, the higher your heart rate variability, the more rested your body is. And if you are in a stressed state, then the heart rate variability becomes very low. That means that your heart becomes stressed, and then it starts to beat very steady.
Yeah.
And you can train your heart rate variability by breathing. So you have the heart method, and that's a way of breathing through your nose, through your heart.
The heart way method.
Sorry?
You said the heart way method.
The heart method. Sorry, I talked too fast. Heart method.
Heart method.
That's a company, and they create devices, and you can connect that device to your ear, and then it measures your heart rate and your heart rate variability. And then you can watch on your telephone how your variability is, and then with the right breathing method, you can increase your heart rate variability, so you can become more relaxed.
Yeah. Because
the heart gives a signal to your brain that it is okay, and it's also the other way around. So your brain gives a signal to your heart. So when you are stressed in your brain, your heart becomes stressed, but also when you are stressed in your heart, your brain becomes stressed. And by breathing is in this way, you also feel calmer in your head, so you become more relaxed. And one of the newest devices I'm trying at the moment is the Neurovisor.
Okay.
And that's extremely experimental. It's I can show it, but the listeners can't see it. But it's a device that you put on your head.
Wow.
And it has LED lamps.
Yeah.
And you connect it with an app, and you put on earphones, and then the LED lamps they start to give light in a way that because you have your eyes closed, it gives us a kind of a stroboscopic image on your eyes. And it's like a psychedelic experience.
Wow, this is for a daily thing, or this is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for how long?
It's only a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And there are different programs. So you have a program to become focused, or you have programs to for example, to improve your coordination. So you can apply that program before you start to to practice your golf swing, for example, or whatever other movement you want to learn. And it's based on science that's already developed in the past century. But this is the first device that makes it accessible for consumers, and I like it very much. It's a beautiful experience. Yeah.
So you're already like in a psychedelic ice bath. Do you also still have the bulletproof coffees also in the morning?
Yeah, and that's an hour after wake up. I drink coffee.
Okay, that's also not to stress your body right away or to.
Because you want, and that's also about circadian rhythm. You want to give your body the time to wake up itself, because you have the cortisol that is rising and the melatonin that's lowering, and the coffee is a very tough, hard reset of your circadian rhythm. So you want first to have your body done his work, and when your body is ready, then you can drink your coffee. Then it isn't disruptive anymore in for the processes of your circadian rhythm. I can't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point, because also for the listeners, a bulletproof coffee, what is it for you exactly?
For me, it is a way to improve my cognition, to get in ketosis fast. So the bulletproof coffee, that is MCT oil with butter, and you can upgrade it with, for example, mushrooms and chocolate and whatever. So my recipe is to upgrade it with chaga and a piece of chocolate and ghee. So the Noordcode coffee, the Noordcode MCT oil, and Noordcode ghee, and then I put it in.
I guess from Noordcode as well.
Oh, of course, and then you put it in the blender for 25 seconds, and then you have a beautiful cup of coffee, and the MCT oil in it.
Sounds delicious.
That converts immediately in energy. So that it is converted in ketones. So then you can get into ketosis quite fast, and I like to be in ketosis because I discovered that it improves my cognition in a fantastic way. So that's so.
You also to have the work life that you have, all the work that you need for Livehelfi.
Yeah.
To be focused. Do you drink more cups of coffee a day?
My maximum is 4 cups per day, and I think 1 or 2 years ago I read an article written by Rhonda Patrick, and Rhonda Patrick is the famous American scientist, writing all stuff about biohacking and supplements, and it's a very interesting lady, Rhonda Patrick. You can search her online, and she mentioned a study that 3 to 5 cups of coffee could be beneficial for longevity, and if you drink more, then it's not that beneficial anymore. So then it damages your longevity. So that's why I stick to 4, and I must admit that I need my coffee. So I'm quite addicted. I need to switch more to decaf now and then, just to.
But then if you go to bed at 10, you also make sure to not have the coffee that's at
No.
that.
No, so latest 1 p.m. but I drink it at 9, and my second one at 10. So my bulletproof coffee at 9, and then a regular coffee at 10, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Because I also discovered in my DNA, I analyzed my DNA, and that I'm a slow burner. I'm a slow burner, a coffee burner.
Yeah.
And the halftime of coffee is quite long. So if you are not a fast metabolizer, then when you drink coffee, and many people drink coffee after dinner,
Yeah.
and that means that you go to bed when the coffee is still there in your body, and that ruins your sleep. And although people think that they had a good sleep,
Yeah.
it could have been better without it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be really in the state of being tired and having you can feel it sometimes. I live in Spain. It helps, like many people, they take an espresso after dinner.
Yeah.
I have the same. I can fall asleep easily, but just the way I wake up is different.
Yeah.
Every time I feel it, like I don't wake up as energized or like as positive even. Maybe I had a nightmare, and maybe there was something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good point. You mention it again.
Yeah.
A question for also including myself, because you are mentioning you have biohacks. You can, I mean, it's quite an advantage if that you have these things, these tools at home.
Yeah.
What would be for a listener starting now a healthier approach to his or her lifestyle? What would you advise just to begin with? Because it can be sometimes overwhelming. They're gonna look at website, they're gonna follow you on Instagram, but what would be for you the main, or like the start? Where can we start with?
Yeah, the basic is eating whole food. So no processed food. Preparing the food yourself, and avoid all the sugar. Avoid all the sugar dips that comes with it. Because if you have that sugar highs and sugar lows, that will ruin your energy during the day and your focus. But also it's way more healthy to prepare your own food and eat the food of the season. So I think that's the most easy thing to start with. Although for many people it's not easy because they are not used to prepare their own food. But once you get used to it, it's quite very simple, and it's not that laborsome as many people think it is. I prepare my dinner with whole food in 20-30 minutes during the week. So for me, low carb, and for the advanced, this keto, but keto, I think it's an advanced protocol which is not suitable for everybody. Especially women should be careful to be in ketosis all the time.
Yeah.
So that's more advanced approach. But exercise. So I think everybody should apply weight training, exercise, or move regular throughout the day. Sprint now and then, once in a week or twice a week, high intensity interval training to get your heartbeat high. So that's also very cheap and very easy.
And perhaps cold showering if you don't have ice bath.
Yeah. And I think also the Wim Hof breathing method, you can get the information online.
This information is for free. I found it amazing.
Yeah.
That Wim Hof is even the 10 minutes breathing exercises just on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So those are also free hacks with huge benefits. So the breathing, so the cold, what you already just mentioned is that you can start to finish your shower with 30 seconds cold, and then you can do the warm first, then the cold, then the warm, then the cold. You can play with it.
Yeah.
But that's the way to start with it. and optimize your sleep, get your circadian rhythm in place. That means make sure that you don't eat too late, that you don't snack throughout the day. Just 2 to 3 meals per day is enough. So if you are hungry, then you should change your food. You should change your diet, because you don't need to be hungry in between meals, or you should eat more during the meal. And I can advise everybody to have dinner early as possible. So your latest meal of the day, for me, I try to have it at 6. And for me, it's easy because I work at home, so I can prepare my dinner at home. So if people have to travel from home, it's maybe more difficult. And when you have children, then it's maybe more difficult. But try to do it as early as possible, so that you already digested the food before you go to bed.
Yeah.
It will improve your sleep tremendously. And I can see it in the numbers of my Oura ring. When I eat too late, then my heart rate stays very high during the night. So and it only get to its lowest point at about 5 in the morning, and you want to have the lowest point at 1 or 2 in the morning, and then your body can start to repair itself. Because if it's digesting the food, then it's not repairing itself.
Yeah. So it's a good point you're mentioning it. You have to give your body also the time to basically fast, even between meals, because we are living in a time where still people think that, I need to eat frequently, so I can improve my metabolism, and I need to eat as much as possible, as frequent as possible, so then it keeps running all the time in order to lose weight, which it's
I haven't seen any scientific evidence that is needed to perform well in life. And I like the evolutionary perspective, that if you think that we still have the genes of a hunter and gatherer, then that there wasn't always food available. And when you have to hunt for your food or collect food, then you can't snack all the time, because you have to hunt that animal or whatever you want to eat. And that's why it's so interesting, so fascinating, that your body has 2 different systems to get its fuel from. So you have the sugar, the glucose, and you have the fat. And most people in the modern society, they don't know how to get in the fat burning modus, because they eat that high carb, the sugars all the time, and your body prefers the sugar because it can convert quite easily into energy.
Why you're hungry all the time.
Yeah. So that's not a nice feeling, to be hungry all the time. And when you are in fat burning modus, then you don't need to eat, because you have so much fat on your body. You can stay without food for days or weeks. And becoming metabolic flexible, I think that's one of the best biohacks someone can apply. And that's not easy, because you have to learn to get in that fat burning modus, and it can, for some people, it can take up to 3 weeks to learn your body to use fat as the primary source of fuel.
Yeah, and maybe
but once
it's as well, even after 3 weeks. That is, I feel that a lot of people, they maybe start with something like keto, or at least a low carb approach.
Yeah.
Then after a week they stop, because either they feel sluggish, they feel fatigue, but that's also your body getting used to, or getting adapting to this fat burning state, rather than getting energy from carbs, from sugars.
Yeah, the transition is tough for many people.
Yeah.
And you may get that keto flu, so that you get a headache, and but once you are through it, then your body knows what to do, and then it's about experimenting with how much carbs and how much fat you have to consume during the day or during the week, and how you vary between those in order to feel at your best. But that's something that you have to learn by doing. And,
No, absolutely. That's beautiful. And it's also so motivating to hear that actually we can already feel our best by food. That it's kind of like the start, the base.
Absolutely. And I'm in the supplement business, and we sell many different kind of supplements, but I always tell people that supplements are very useful to get a good engine running more smoothly, but it doesn't compensate for a bad engine. And you can't repair a bad engine by taking supplements. So you have to focus on the sleep, the exercise, and the food, and then you can optimize with supplements. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Wow, really super. This is really super inspiring, and I think it can help a lot of people. And I hope that people at least already start with analyzing and not only trusting maybe other people in a sense of what the big stream is telling them, but then really focusing, okay, what is good for my body, and start today by just trying to improve their health already by foods, for example, by eating the right nutrition.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Eduard. And the last thing I want to that you can share, when people want to follow you, what would be the best links that they can find you, etc.?
Yeah, I post on a regular basis on LinkedIn, and that's Eduard Wilde on LinkedIn. So I share science that you can apply, make it actionable for yourself. I share occasionally my pictures on Instagram, Eduard Wilde. You can follow Livehelfi on social, and that's also Instagram Livehelfi and Instagram Noordcode, and we post also all kind of content that may be useful for people to read. It's not only for selling, but also for inspiration.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, perfect. Thank you so much, Eduard. And if people have any questions, they can reply on the podcast itself or send either Livehelfi, Eduard, or Funky Fat Foods a message. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on your podcast, and I wish you all the best with Funky Fat Food.
Thank you.